the fuck?
What the?
Wait a minute. Is that Redmond's SIG?
That is Redman's SIG.
What's with the rope?
I don't know. These fucking things shoot themselves.
Motherfuckers. Everybody knows SIG's the best gun out there. I don't even have to be on the range to shoot. Bullseye!
Oh, what's our next one?
All right, here's my follow-up to that. Should you run, should you hide, or should you fight? And if so, like, what do you do?
Yes, and yes, right? Kind of in that order. Maybe switch, hide, and run. For your average person in an active shooter situation, the last thing you want to be is in the line of fire of either the active shooter or the law enforcement responders or the good guy with the gun responder. So I think that as a general rule, the first thing you want to try to do is determine where the threat is. And if you can do that and safely extricate yourself from the situation and the area of threat, then do that and bring as many people with you as you can. Second, if you can hard point in a place where you can secure the room and hide, that would be the second. And then third, if you're forced to, then defend your life with force. And I think that's probably the order of precedent. Now, I think, generally you can switch, hide, and flee, depending on the situation, but that's probably a good general order right there.
Yeah, I think the environment is going to dictate a lot. First is like, if you're going to run, you got to know which direction you're going to run. So you, like Tony said, you have to identify where the threat is. Just because you found a place where you can hide and you feel safe, you shouldn't remain there. You should be continually analyze what's going on around you in the environment and planning your next move. Where am I going next? How close can I get to that exit point? How many people can I take with me on that? If you run into a threat, then you have to engage, right? If not, you're just going to be a victim. So all those things, are dictated by what is developing around you at that moment. And being able to formulate and think on your feet is going to be essential. And how can I do that? Well, I need to have some type of training on that. Unfortunately, nowadays, in places where you can have active shooter situations, a lot of these companies, they might put you through a PowerPoint training, right? There's no physical and dynamic training. People learn in different ways. In the military, we have a lot of death by PowerPoint, and you walk out of that classroom and you forget half of the stuff, if not more, by the time you leave that room. So we have to practice and exercise and repeat what we have learned over and over again.
Just like when you were a kid and you had to do fire drills in school, it's the same kind of deal. You learn the school book method with PowerPoint or whatever it is, or however they deliver their risk mitigation plan. Usually it's it's generally just a cover your ass type of deal, but it's in the doing the fire drills and organizing the deliberate exercise of those risk mitigating factors that is going to actually mitigate the risk. It's in the repetitive exercise drills that are going to actually instill into your memory and your physical practice, your everyday, how you carry yourself, that it's going to be fundamental as opposed to just academic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think leadership in there comes into a place too, especially in a working environment. People are going to look up to someone that has leadership skills for direction in a situation like that, when people are panicking and they don't know what to do because they're not trained.
Hey man, what are you doing?
Dude, I just started my workout. I'm feeling tired and weak.
You need to try some of these new Tasty Games pre-workout gummies.
Are these good?
They're delicious.
They are good. I like that. Thank you, man.
No problem.
Get back on my workout later. I hope this makes me stronger, taller, and prettier. Look at that, it worked!
Awesome.
Click that link, baby.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can add to that. I mean, to me, a protector is a planner. He's an escape artist, like Coach Tony was saying. Then he's a fighter in that order. And then he, in my opinion, he's a medic, especially in that type of situation. So, go right back to the beginning. A planner. You mentioned knowing the exits, knowing the hard areas, the soft areas, and that takes planning. That takes changing your perspective enough that when I go to work, I've got to take a look at what's going on, and in my mind, at least say, here's my routes out of the building. So, which again goes back to what you said, perspective, change of perspective, which leads back to good training.
And that's our point of view, Tactical 21.